Hello. 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 Hey. Hello. Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, good morning, good morning. How's everyone doing today? Happy Tuesday. Ah! Wrong one. No. Hey. Good morning. Man, I was positive. I was like, there's no way we're doing this one wrong. What's up? What's up? Good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing? Keyboard cam though. Yeah, we're opening something up today. It's gonna be exciting. What's up, my friends? What's up, my friends? Hello. Okay, we'll bring it down. We'll bring it down. Sorry. Good morning, everybody. Welcome. Good morning. Welcome back to the stream. Hello, my friends. Happy Tuesday. Tuesday, things are warming up here. It's like 80 degrees. It's crazy. Music's a little loud. Sorry, Grassbird. Hopefully that's at a better volume. We got some Animal Crossing in the background. Hello and welcome. Welcome to World by Charlie ASMR. Good morning, Big Jim. Good morning, Evie. Good... Oh, shoot, it says geography stream. Sorry, I messed that up. Good morning, Stephanie. Good morning, Annalise. Good morning, Big Jim and Teddy. Natalie got new headphones for Easter. Heck yeah. Calvin went to the Lincoln Park Zoo. Oh, nice. Wait, their indoor exhibits are open? No way. That's excellent. No, guys, I screwed up. No, we're not doing geography again. Sorry, wait, I have to change this. Hello, everybody. Welcome. I really wish I had this figured out. Snake stream. We're doing snake stream today. Snake stream today because we have a couple snake experts in the chat, man. Where are snakes found? What countries? Typing geography and snake together. That could work, Big Jim. What did you do for Easter, guys? I made a quiche. I made a quiche for my family, and it turned out so good. I was very excited. Wait! Piano, you learned how to land a front flip? Okay, guys, give us reasons to be excited today in chat. Because we need to get out of this grumpopotamus funk. Give us reasons to be excited. Accomplishments. What have you accomplished over the weekend since we last talked? Let's talk about that. I myself made an amazing quiche. I made it. I followed a recipe and it was amazing. Natalie's mom tried to make a cake. Congratulations. Trying is half the success, I believe. It was Drake's birthday. Congratulations, Drake. Kelly got dressed in real clothes, which is a huge accomplishment. Congratulations, Kelly. It's super sunny. Everyone's feeling good today. Anne's computer is not letting her chat, so she found a solution, and she's using her phone. So congratulations, Anne, on already problem solving today. You did it. Annalise is going to Texas. I don't know why, but she's going to go to Texas. Evie's feeling about ducks. And Anne ate a quiche. All right, congratulations, everybody. Everyone, we're feeling good today, but let's talk about what we got going on. You know, we haven't played this song in a while. Annalise, why are you going to Texas? Everybody, welcome. Microphone crashed. I'll go back. Everybody, welcome to another episode of Wonders with Charlie. Today on Wonders with Charlie, it is the snake episode, not geography, snake. Everyone, welcome. Can I tell you the real reason why we're here? The real reason why we're here, my folks, is today is not just a simple stream about snakes. Today is the first of many meetings of the Super Secret Science Society. For today, we have our first submissions of potential things to add to our wonderful and beautiful museum. And we must decide as a group, if we are adding these items to the museum or not. Are they worthy of standing alongside our million-year-old fish fossil, our sheep brain, our cuneiform tablet, our fake cave bear tooth, and below our fabulous line of bugs? That is what we'll determine today as board members of the Super Secret Science Society. Everybody will have a vote. This package came in from Pete. It involves a lot of random stuff, including some snake items. And that's why it's technically a snake stream today. So Charlie's Museum, the P.O. Box, we got a little bit of an opening. And that's the plan today, guys. How does that sound? Okay, before we get started, I'm going to read chat because I like seeing how you guys are doing. And, okay, guys, I do have a special announcement. Okay. It's this geography again? Oh, my gosh. What the heck is going on? Thank you. Okay, guys. If you do exclamation point schedule... If you do exclamation point schedule, oh. Yeah. If you do exclamation point schedule, you will find something interesting. There. We'll just have it up there. There. Guys, we are streaming on Friday. We are doing a 5 p.m. Central Standard Time game night stream. But guys, this is going to be like it's going to be like preseason for the baseball season, you know? It's going to be like preseason game night. It's 6 p.m. Eastern. Game night's coming back, but because it's been a while, it's going to be like a test night. So it's not going to be the big bang. It's not going to be super huge. We're going to get right into it because we got to test new things. We got to see what kind of app we want to use because we still can't use Kahoot because of the hackers. So we're going to try a couple quizzes. We're going to try to work it out together. It's like preseason game night before the official new season starts. But that's going to be Friday at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time, 6 p.m. Eastern. How about them Cubbies? I don't know, man. It's going to be a trash season. Try Blookit? Okay. I'm going to note it down. Because if we have time today, we're going to try one of the pieces of quiz softwares that I'm thinking about using. But we'll try a bunch. Because I don't know about you guys, but when we tried Mentimeter, it was a little stale. It was a little too polished. It was a little too businessy. And it didn't have a lot of features. Like you couldn't choose your name and stuff like that, which I know a lot of you guys like. Something that always makes a live stream lit is bury the brick. Wait, add a brick? Maybe, you know, I got a couple of bricks here. Maybe we can bring Barry as a co-host. Not Barry. It has to be a different name. Probably a different, like maybe a female brick. What's a female name that starts with a B? Gimkit? Oh, okay, Gimkit too. Okay, real quick, guys, because this will help me out. Does anybody know any other quiz software besides Gimkit, besides Blookit? Gimkit, Blookit? Maybe Anne, maybe you are familiar with some? Blookit, real quick. Sorry, guys, before we get going. Belinda? Oh, my God. Brinda? Oh, my God. Baria? That's a noodle company. Gimkit. Bernadette? Bernadette. Oh, okay. You got it, Kelly. You said Bernadette? Quizzes. Okay, quizzes. Yes, quizzes. I love Bernadette. Bernadette. It might be too many syllables. What do you guys like? Do you like Bernadette or do you like Bobby? Bobby. Oh, Bobby is kind of like a hip. Flaburo is not starting with a B. Bernadette. Bernie. Bobby. Sorry, we already have a Bernadette the Brick. Okay, sorry, Bernadette the Brick maybe already exists. I like Bobby. Bobby's kind of a cool name. Bobby the Brick. But it's a lady brick. Unholy Sweet 2? There is a Bernadette the Brick. Okay. Elsie's Brick? Oh my gosh, Brick Gang? Is that like wait. Are we part of a, we can be part of do you know people have like streaming groups? They have streaming groups like, oh, we're part of the Minecraft SMP or whatever. We can be like the Brick Brigade and we just have bricks with us. I like that. That's the new plan. Okay, everybody, today here's our package. We got a package in the mail from Pete. Pete is he calls himself an amateur snake breeder, but he really, I think he's like an expert on snakes. He's going to be joining us at 10, so in 15 minutes. Maybe a little after that, Pete, depending on how much time we have to do this. But he's going to talk about snakes and breeding snakes. And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Anne, if Anne's in the chat, Anne probably has a lot of experience with snakes too, because she has a lot of experience with all sorts of animals. But Pete sent us this package of all different sorts of things for our museum, and we're going to decide which ones we want to add in there. And then when we get to the snake stuff, we might throw it under the scope and check it out more closely. Bleep out his address. Guys, I think, guys, we're good. I mean, I think, I'm sorry, Pete. I'm sorry, Pete. I'm going to open this. No one bother Pete. He's a nice guy. Okay, we're good. We're good. Okay, here we are. The Brick Brigade. I think your brick should be Bernadette. What if there's just 2 Bernadettes? And it's just like, it's who's the real Bernadette, you know? Yes, I did the reptile show and snake encounters in the zoo. Oh, okay, sick. Oh, man. Dude, we got a lot of cool stuff. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my god. Okay, I'm gonna save the snake stuff to last. Oh, Bricklin? Okay, Bernadette's still on the table. If the other one's name is Bricklin. Dude, we got a lot of good stuff from Pete. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna go in order. I'm gonna go in order to see what we have. Dude, this is epic. Okay, a couple things all from Pete to add potentially to our museum. It's up to you guys to vote. First thing is number 1. Kaylee, what's up, Kaylee? How you doing? Okay, and I think when Pete comes on, we got to talk about this too, because a lot of people are scared of snakes. And I'm not, dude, I had a snake for a long time, except it was nocturnal, and at night it would make noises in its tank, and it gave me nightmares, and I would start having nightmares that the snake would eat me in my sleep. So I had to find it a new owner. Okay. It looks like the first item that we have here is a mystery cocoon. So I talked to people beforehand. I had a Kenyan sand boa, so it kind of looked like a worm. Yeah, it was really nice. I really liked it. It was patterned like a cow. So imagine like an orange and brown cow with the same patterning of spots. Okay, the first thing we got from Pete is a mystery cocoon. My question for you guys is, what is this? Calvin, do you know what this is? Okay, first thing that we have to figure out today is what kind of cocoon is this? Pete comes from the south, so potentially that could have a solution for us. Does this look familiar to anybody? Found it on my driveway after a storm. Is it an egg? An egg. I had garter snakes years ago. Kelly, did you find them in the wild or did you pick them up on your own? Yeah, I think it's not an owl pellet. Wait! Calvin says it's a mantis cocoon. Kelly has some experience with mantises. Does this look like a mantis cocoon? Honestly, it kind of does. What's that, Brandon? We're trying to figure it out. It's not an owl pellet. It's some sort of a mystery item that came in the pack. Mantis cocoon, it's big. It is big. It's large. Moth cocoons, if it's a mantis cocoon, I should have kept it. I don't think it's a mantis cocoon because here I'm like, here's my internet. Where's my internet? Right here. Here are mantis cocoons and it looks a little different. Okay, Kelly says it doesn't look like the ones she's seen. It's not fuzzy, so it's not a moth cocoon. Okay, so moth cocoons are fuzzy. Should I smell it? It smells like a leaf. Something from an alien cocoon? Okay, I'm not sure. So, our first thing we have is a mystery cocoon. A mystery cocoon. Next thing we got from Pete, let's open it up. If anyone can figure it out, it could be just a seed pod or something. Yeah, you're right. You're right. It could be just a seed pod. I don't know. Oh shoot. Maybe we should ask. You know what? I might remember our insect expert. I might snap a picture of it and send it to him. He might know. Maybe search up different type of cocoons and find. Yeah. Wait. So we don't think it's gonna be cocoons. I'm looking up. Okay. Wait a sec. Here are cocoons from the area where Pete might be. He's never found it in his yard before. What type? What are these? This kind of looks exactly like it. Okay, guys, I'm gonna dive in real quick. I think I found it. Can you measure it? Okay, all these squares are a centimeter on this thing. So it's like 3.5 centimeters long and maybe 2 centimeters wide. Guys, I think I found it. Pete, check this out. This is a giant silk moth cocoon. This is a giant silk moth right here. In the bottom one. And this is the cocoon. Over here. I'm pretty sure this is a giant silk moth cocoon. Which is absolutely epic. I wonder if this is gonna hatch. Pete, you sent us a giant silk moth cocoon. That's insane. Oh man. Well, we're gonna keep this to the side and in the background in case to see if it's gonna hatch, because that's pretty epic. Oh man. Okay, giant silk moth cocoon. Let's see what a giant silk moth looks like. One sec. It's one of these guys, so it could be the size of a hand. Well, that's pretty outrageous. That'd be cool if it hatches. Well, I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Okay, item number 2. Okay. I'm familiar with these, very much so. Item number 2, guys. We have a classic cicada and a cicada shell. These are the annual cicadas, so these aren't the really kind of special, the fancy ones, because the fancy ones have red eyes. But we have some cicada stuff. What type of bug is that? This is a cicada. So, I don't know, guys, are there cicadas near you? Because in the Midwest, we have cicadas every single summer. And sometimes we have special cicadas that come out and they absolutely take over. So we have cicadas, a cicada shell, and what looks like a giant silk moth cocoon. I follow some moth breeders on TT. From what I've seen, I'm not sure if that's viable anymore. Oh, okay, Kelly. Thanks for letting us know. So this might not be a viable cocoon anymore, so we'll see. Oh, grassbirds, you've never seen a cicada? Oh, man, let's check it out. Wait, let me see if we can get in on this. Are we going to get a good... Yeah, let's try this. Okay, we're going to throw this under the scope so you guys can get a look at it. Boom. So, this is a cicada. There's a lot of cicadas in Texas. Oh, yeah, Annalise, you're right. The cicadas are a big part of the soundtrack of a Midwest summer. They're so loud. It's insane. They're so outrageously loud. So they got these big wings in the back, and man, if you've heard them before, it's like rah, 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 and they're screamers. But a nice little guy right there. And I don't know if did you guys do this when you were younger? So these are kind of like the larval stage or the younger stage of the cicada. This looks really gross, but they leave these exoskeletons behind when they grow to when they evolve in Pokemon terms to their next stage of their life. And we used to collect these, and you can find like buckets of these all over the yard. They'll be all over the place. Brandon, you've never heard of cicadas? I thought you were from like Illinois. Yeah, no, they're nasty. Well, okay, it gets so outrageous that in some years when it gets really intense, like you have to be careful riding your bike in the summer because they'll hit you, and they'll fly into you when you're riding your bike, and they're big, so sometimes it's like bam, bam, bam. You just gotta keep an eye out. They sell like electrified tennis rackets to help you whack them out of the air if you really want to. I've been chased with many cicada shells in my life. It's crazy. They're everywhere on the bad years. Absolutely everywhere. Okay, finally. We have some snake stuff, and before we get to the snake stuff and bring Pete on, the last thing we have is a nice little toy. Okay. A human biology box kit. An eye. Pete sent us an eye model. Okay, that's pretty epic. A nice little, thank you so much, Pete. This looks really cool. Wait, who used that electric racket? Wait, who is that? Pete R? Yeah, man, I mean, there are a lot. Okay, this is really cool. Okay, guys, so, thoughts. Here are the things that we have. Luckily, I mean, Pete really sent us over some cool stuff, and we haven't really gotten into the cool stuff, which is the snake stuff, which we're going to look at right now. But does anybody have any thoughts initially on what should or should not be added to the museum right now? That's what we're kind of looking at. My grandpa used to have an electric tennis racket, and he'd try to poke it or lick it or spit on it, but no one ever took him up on it. Lick it? What grandpa's like, come on over and lick my electrified tennis racket? Oh my gosh. Oh, Drake, thank you so much. Drake, I really appreciate it, my man. Hey, happy birthday. I hope you really had a great birthday. That's really nice of you. So thank you so much, Drake. Hey, guys, dubs in the chat for Drake. Drake threw a nice dono on there. That's a lot of cash, Drake. Thanks so much, my man. Wow. Nice. Okay. So here we have, Drake, thank you so much. Guys, dubs in the chat for Drake. Drake, shout out to you, man. Thank you so much. Happy birthday. I hope you had a great birthday, and thanks for the 5 big ones, man. That's awesome. Okay. So, I think we're going to set these aside and have a little vote at the end whether we decide to put them in the museum or not. But in the meantime, Pete, you ready to go, my man? Guys, I think we're going to bring Pete on. Pete R. Pete R is our snake expert. Miss Ann Beringer, if you're here and you have some any more information to add about snakes, feel free to go. But I think we're gonna bring Pete on. Hopefully, if this works, let's give it a shot. Join with computer audio. Happy birthday, Drake. Yeah. Pete, feel free to pop in the Zoom meeting. Oh, Mr. R is here. Admit. Guys, hold for Pete. Pete? Hello, Pete.
Hey.
Guys, Pete
Can you hear me?
R's here. Guys,
Can you hear me? Let me mute this.
Yeah. I think you got to mute. You're probably gonna have to mute the mute the stream, otherwise we're here twice. Pete, how you doing?
All right, so far great today. How about you?
Dude, I'm doing great. Guys, this is Pete. Pete, as in the infamous Pete R from the stream. Pete R sent us this box. Pete R is a snake expert, even though he won't admit it himself. I'm proclaiming you as a snake expert, Pete. Guys, can you hear Pete all right? Let me know in the chat. But in the meantime, Pete, can you give us a little bit of your background on snakes? So you described to me that you bred a lot of snakes in the past. Is that right?
Yeah, over the last 20 years, I've probably hatched out well over 1,500 snakes. At the peak of baby season, it was kind of crazy. There'd be over 300 snakes in my house between the breeding adults. And I mean, I always loved snakes as a kid. And it got to a point a bunch of years ago, I thought I'm going to be do a thing called buying back my childhood, and started breeding snakes. And it's really pretty interesting, the ones I was breeding.
So wait, how many a year? You'd hatch out 300 snakes a year?
At times it'd be that many, counting the breeding adults that I had, because I had like 70 breeding adults.
Okay, yeah. What kinds of snakes? And wait, guys, if you're watching the chat, you guys know the drill. Pete's familiar with the stream, so he knows what to do. So if you guys have any questions about anything that we're talking about, just pop them in the chat, and we'll be able to respond to them. But yeah, what different kinds of snakes? And wait, 300 is a lot of snakes. What would you do with them?
Oh, so those 2 little containers I gave you, that the stuff came in, that the cocoon and whatnot, those are actually for snake babies. If you go to any reptile shows, you'll see somebody selling them. They'll have snake babies inside those little containers. And then there's a guy, he runs a company called Serpent Co. I don't know if it's still around, should be, in Tallahassee, Florida. And years ago, he was breeding out over 7,000 babies a year. And you'd go to see him at a reptile show or something, or if he'd ship you snakes, they'd be inside that little thing. And then he would take the end of a PVC cap, like pipe cap, flatten it out on the bottom because they're rounded, then cut out these little holes. And he has these little caps that serve as water dishes that sit right inside that thing perfectly, so they don't tip over, and this little baby snake can stick his head in the opening and get a drink of water.
So you'd put, like, every baby snake would be in a little container like this with a little cap that has like a little bit of a water dish and things like that?
Yeah, and then then he would use these little coffee filter things. These little round coffee filters.
So would you sell them, or would you give them away, or would you take care of them? Yeah, what was your plan? Would you?
Here's the funny thing. In Georgia, everything, they have a blanket rule, kind of anything that's native is considered protected.
Yeah.
Now, as an educator, I got I didn't have to pay any fees or anything, but I got a what's it called, permit to have a snake. And
yeah.
I was looking into getting some more, and I called up the DNR, Department of Natural Resources, and said, hey, what should I do if I get another snake? And the lady goes, well, you could call us up, let us know, or not.
What? So wait, would you just keep them?
Well, no. What I did with most of my snakes is I gave a few away. We have some places that have like, there are state parks that have like little reptiles on display. So I donated some snakes to that.
That's kind
I
of
met a lady off of one of the snake forums who lived up in Tennessee, and I would take her all my babies. So I've never, it's been a gigantic money pit. I've never made a penny off of it. I've given them all away. And then she would take them, and she some of the color morphs she really liked. So she'd raise them, and some of them she'd sell, some of them she'd trade for like credit at a local pet shop there. And
so you'd kind of just like to spread snake goodwill with the snakes that you would breed.
I tried to. I mean, I had another teacher who she was real into Boy Scouts, and they would do a day camp, like a week-long day camp. And a couple of summers, she would book me for a couple of 45 minutes talks on reptiles and snakes and things. And
nice.
I'd bring my ball python and bring a bunch of different color morphs of corn snakes. And I'm trying to spiral out of it, because one year I spent more money buying food for them than I did for myself.
Dude, I can feel it when you get it really into the I don't know, one of these hobbies. It can quickly take over. Okay, we got a couple questions. Let's do some rapid fire questions. Are you down for that, Pete?
Oh, sure.
Okay, so Piano's asking our standard Squishmallow question. So do you have a favorite Squishmallow?
I have to go look that up pending a Google search. I can't answer that.
All right, terrific. Don't worry about it. Well, Kelvin wants to know, what's your favorite snake?
Earlier today I was thinking, somebody would probably ask you that. What's your favorite snake? And it's hard to say. Corn snakes, which is a type of rat snake, which is what the stuff I gave you is from, they're really great. They're like the number one, what they call a beginner snake in the pet trade, because they're really easy to take care of. Some snakes need, like, you get these ones that are from rainforests and stuff, and they need real specific temperature and humidity ranges and things like that.
Corn snakes are kind of like they're the tough snakes. They can endure pretty basic tanks.
They can handle a lot. I mean, there's a bunch of little colors and pattern morphs there that you're looking at. There's the basic kind of normal corn, And then they started, breeding them and breeding them, and some oddities came out, and they've kind of isolated all these genes, and they've got ones that are called like anerythristic, which don't have any kind of reds and oranges in them. They're mostly black and grays, and they have amelanistic, where it's missing the melanin gene. So they're mostly
So the
reds
different
and
colors,
oranges.
the different colors are kind of what they're breeding in those
Yeah,
ones.
and some of them now even pattern morphs, which you see on the back, the little spots like that orange one right there that says Petco underneath it.
Yeah.
You just scroll up. They call them saddles, and now they have a thing called motley, where the saddles actually kind of connect. And then most corn snakes, if you look at their belly, they've got little belly checkering, and some people say that's one reason they got their name is because it looks like maize. The little
Oh yeah,
little checkered looking corn.
Yeah.
And then also because farmers love to see those snakes in their corn and grain silos, because rodents love to eat corn and grain. I was at one of the state parks here, Tallulah Gorge State Park, and they were talking, and one of the rangers mentioned, I don't know if this is true or not, but I would love to believe it. She said that if all snakes disappeared tomorrow, in 6 months, we'd have worldwide famine.
Yeah.
Because the rodents would just take over, and they do breed fast, and they like to eat what we eat.
It's like similar to spiders too. People are often very afraid of spiders, but spiders deal with a lot of insect problems and eat mosquitoes and kind of help us out in a lot of ways as well. Brandon has a question. Have you ever captured any snakes? So have you ever? Oh wait, yeah, you have. You told me about this. Like taken any snakes from the wild, or have you always purchased them?
No, most of the snakes I've bred, which is just the corns, the rat snakes,
Yeah.
I've always bought. But if I find one, like I was digging in my garden, I found a thing called a smooth earth snake, and I kept him just for like a day or two, just to observe him. Then I put him right back where I found him, and I shouldn't say catch, but I'll see some little what they call DK snakes or brown snakes. They're little tiny guys. They eat soft stuff like slugs and earthworms, and they're completely harmless. And I've caught them and maybe observed them or showed them to the class or something like that, then put them right back. I don't keep anything out of the wild. All mine are captive bred.
Do you know why garter snakes smell so bad?
I don't know about garter snakes in particular. Just a lot of snakes have these little musk glands near their cloaca, the anal flap, where they go to the bathroom from and breed from and everything. And sometimes when they get spooked, they'll kind of musk you.
That's it. Because I've handled some wild snakes before, so some garter snakes, and it makes your hands smell so bad for so long. It's crazy. Okay, so what are we looking at here? So I opened up one of the bags, and here we have a snake skin, right? Is this from one of your corns?
Yeah, it's from one of the bigger ones, one of the probably 4 or 5 year old ones.
And this is
interesting thing is wild thing about snakes is like if you're a breeder, you can take a break and brumate them over winter. They're not eating here over winter because it's too cold and they can't digest. So a lot of breeders will turn down the temperature and get it to like 50, 60 degrees. I'd leave them in the basement, and I've had them go without food for like 4 months or so.
Wait,
and they come out none the worse for wear.
Well, I was surprised when I had that Kenyan sand boa. I only ended up feeding the snake like once every week or so, or once every 2 weeks. They can go a long time without eating, but I've never heard that long. That's a super long time.
My ball python, she refused food for about 21 months.
Jeez, that's crazy.
And, she didn't end up looking like a Shar-Pei. It didn't look like she was wearing a skin, 3 sizes too big. She just kept refusing food. I tried mice and I tried rats, and I feed them frozen food, and because live food can bite back.
So here we got, under the microscope, we're looking at the snake skin, and I was surprised to learn this, that I was looking up an article on Wonderopolis.org. Wonderopolis.org, sponsor of the stream, they help us out. And I was learning about snake sheds, so why snakes shed their skin. And tell me if you know about this, Pete, but when I read this article. It was describing how all animals kind of shed their skin. Even mammals like us shed our skin, but ours is kind of gradual and it just kind of wears away as new skin kind of grows underneath and then becomes the top layer of skin. But certain reptiles that shed, like snakes, are different in that they shed that entire layer of skin at one time. And unlike us, their skin can't grow along with the rest of their body. So as they grow and get bigger, they need to shed the skin to allow kind of like more space for their body to expand. So that new layer of skin starts growing beneath the top layer, and then all at once the shed occurs. And that's kind of why they have to shed every now and then. How often, in your experience, do your snakes shed? How often will your corn snakes shed?
Once again, that's really tied to feeding. The more you feed them, the faster they'll grow. What's funny is Serpentco, that this guy, he had some of these type of corns called lavenders. And one year I was all excited because he had some left over from the year before. And I thought they were going to be pretty decent sized. And I went to this reptile show, and they were a year old, and they were still the size of pretty much of a normal baby and living in that same little kind of container you have now, that potato salad container.
Yeah.
But you can do a thing. I tried it once on one snake called power feeding, where feeding them as much as they'll eat every like 3 or 4 days. And in about 9 months, less than a year, I had this one snake looking like it was 2 or 3 years old.
Really? It grew that much?
Yeah, it was astounding, the difference. And sometimes they refuse food. And it's funny when you have a clutch of eggs or clutch of snakes, and you're feeding them all on the same schedule, but some of them refuse here and there, and they'll become over not a whole lot of time, a huge size difference between them and their siblings. But it's, the more you feed them, the more they'll shed.
So would you agree that they probably tend to shed more when they're younger and they're growing?
Yeah, because they're going to get to a certain point. One of the questions people always ask me is, how big will it get? And I look at him and go, how big does a human get?
It varies and it's different.
And there are, 7-foot basketball players, and a friend of mine I coach ice skating with who's 4'11", and she's the tallest she'll ever be.
Wait, sorry, I'm excited. Sorry for interrupting, Pete. We have a second shed in here. Is this from it looks like it's from a smaller snake? Is it from a different snake?
That's a bunch from a bunch of little ones.
Okay, same kinds, but just slightly smaller?
They're from babies that hatched out last September.
Oh, geez. And look at this one's crazy because you could see they even shed on their eyes.
Yeah, the eye cap.
Wait, this is pretty epic.
What's pretty neat is, their color will dull and their eyes will get kind of milky or sometimes a little bit blue. And then it'll kind of go away, and they'll be almost back to normal, like brightness of their colors. And sometimes you'll see them take their nose and push it into the wall of the cage. And what they're trying to do is break the skin loose from their upper and lower lip. And then once they kind of break it loose, they kind of slide out of it. And I've had times when the environment in the cage was too dry, and it shed like we do with a bad sunburn and all these, pieces and things.
Oh, so like a full shed, does a full shed, a strong shed in one piece indicate a healthy snake and a healthy environment?
I would think more, I don't know about the health of the snake so much as the environment they're in, because there has to be a little bit of moisture in the air, a little bit of humidity to help them get it off.
Yeah.
One thing that happens a lot with some babies, though, is they'll get down to a little piece of the skin will still stay on the tip of their tail on just like 4 or 5 millimeters or so on the tail, and you can't tell. And then that skin just kind of chokes off that piece of tail, and that little tiny tip of the tail dies and just falls right off.
Oh, and the snake is it okay? Is that a common thing that happens? So when it does happen, it's like, oh, it lost a bit of its tail, but it's kind of like a normal thing.
Yeah, it's no big deal. It's not going to really harm it or anything like that. But it's just, I've seen it happen several times. And when I was at Tallulah Gorge, the state park, and they were showing one of the snakes, you could tell it had lost its tail tip because it was a lot more blunt of a tail.
Ooh, man. Okay, so we have another bag of. I love this guy. The chat's so funny. Stephanie says neat, and then Josie just follows up with a gross in all caps. The dry skin's on rattlesnake tails and forms the. Wait, oh, the dry skin
Yes.
stays on rattlesnake tails and
Yeah.
forms the rattle. That's true.
Yeah. That's what I've
Wait.
seen, heard too.
So inside the rattle, that's just kind of like pieces of their skin that have kind of stayed on and fallen off, and that's what they kind of shake around.
Not sure about rattlers, a whole lot about them. We had a guy come to my school and brought a bunch of hots, and that's what they call venomous reptiles, hots. He had them all in locked cages, but don't know exactly what's rattling around in there.
Flynn, not Josie. All right, sorry, Flynn. Sorry, Flynn. Okay, second bag right here. We have a collection of what appear to be snake egg shells. That
Yes.
Did the snakes hatch out of these?
Oh yeah. Now, if you look closely, you should be able to see little slits in them where, when they're inside the egg, they have a little tiny thing called an egg tooth on the tip of their snout.
Oh, like a chick, like a baby chick.
Yeah,
right?
and when they're born, really soon after they start to come out of there, you can actually, it's teeny tiny, but you can see the little egg tooth.
This is
And
outrageous.
it's so funny because you'll see their little noses rubbing on the inside of those things, and then they'll slit open, and sometimes they'll take more than a day to come out. A lot of times it's so great because you pull that. I incubate them in sphagnum moss, and you'll pull it back, and you'll see these little heads just sticking out of there. It's hysterical. And then they might poke back in, and then they'll slowly come out again, and then there'll just be just a head sticking out and a little tongue flicking, tasting. But
So are these from the corn snakes? Are these corn snake
Yeah.
eggs right here?
oh yeah, and you should be able to probably put them in a bag or something with a damp paper towel, and it should kind of reconstitute the leathery egg so it's a little bit soft again.
They kind of feel they're like surprisingly the consistency of like corn puffs. Like they're that light and they look like you can eat them. Definitely.
Now,
I
one of the
won't,
weird
but hopefully
things,
you can.
I've had clutches of eggs that looked great. They were, firm and full, and just about the time they should have hatched, they started to perspire. And
Perspire.
like 95% of the time, at least when I've had that happen, they were dying inside there for some reason. And then the other eggs would hatch, and the ones that were perspiring just didn't. And I took scissors and I cut it open, and it was a fully formed, perfect little snake in there, but it died. And
Oh
I have
no.
had some that came out with, and I think this might have to do with incubation temperatures and things. I've had some with kinks in their spine, where if you felt
Oh.
along their back, there was like a little bump. I had one that hatched that had no eyes, and its mouth was twisted and opened up all the way. It blindly moved around the incubation container
Whoa.
for about half a day or so, and then died.
Do you think
And
that's a result of the breeding or of the conditions that the egg was incubated in, or just some random genetic thing because you're hatching so many eggs where you're bound to get some that are a little abnormal?
It could be the genetics, but a lot of times I think it might be just something that happens in the egg. The egg is permeable and water permeable, and if you don't have it in a good moist medium, like I've had snakes who laid eggs and I didn't notice it for a couple of days, and the eggs were kind of starting to shrivel up a little bit.
Oh, because
But
they were just out. Yeah.
they were sitting on or buried in, because they buried the eggs or something. Like they didn't notice the female was gravid, which is the term for a pregnant snake is gravid. And I found him in the cage, but then I put him in I take sphagnum moss and I get it in really warm water, and I squeeze out the extra moisture, spread it out in like a Ziploc container, those rectangular plastic containers, nestle the eggs in there and cover them up. And a few days later, they plump out and they hatch out just fine, about 60, 70 days later.
So I know some snakes lay eggs and some don't. So the egg-laying snakes are oviparous, and the ovoviviparous are the snakes that don't lay eggs and they give live birth. But it's weird because they have eggs inside of them that kind of like hatch inside of them,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
the snake comes out. So corn snakes lay eggs, correct?
Yes.
So what are some snakes that give live birth? Do you know?
I think I want to say garter snakes do. I think ringneck snakes do. We had a teacher who brought in a ringneck snake she found in her garden, and like a few days later, we're looking in the cage, and there are about a dozen of these tiniest little snakes I've ever seen in my life. They're, they look to be
How
about
big are they usually? Like the size of a crayon or something like that?
when the corns come out, they're about the size of a pencil. And when these ringnecks were in this cage, oh my gosh, they were they were like maybe a little bit longer than a wooden matchstick or something like that, and about half as thick. I don't
Jeez.
know how they even survive out in the wild or what they eat. It was kind of crazy.
Anne says some snakes that give live birth include boas, vipers, and sea snakes. Boas, vipers, and sea snakes give live birth. Man, I went to one of the North American Reptile Breeders Conference here in Chicago, and so I saw what you're talking about. Those those chicken salad takeout containers full with snakes and like tables full of them. And the wild one was I walked past one that was selling baby anacondas, and they were all the size of a pencil, but there was just like a 5-gallon bucket full of like 15 of them, and it was just weird to think that there was 15 anacondas in this bucket that are going to grow to be absolutely enormous. And I was like, what is this guy going to do with this? This is absolutely crazy. Have you always stuck with corns though? Corns is kind of your bread and butter.
Yeah, just because of the variety. And I bought a whole bunch of different color morphs and bred them. And then there was some guy, I'm trying to remember if he was in Texas or what, but he used to sell these snakes. He called them milkshakes because he said it was a big mixture of different genetics. And
so it's like I hate, it's not a good term, but like a mutt or something like that.
well,
Like a mutt snake.
I don't know if it still exists, but there used to be a little thing called it was a progeny predictor. You could get, it was like a little calculator. You could, like a little application you could get where you could put in some characteristics of the parent snakes, and then it would tell you what the odds or the percentage that they would get of certain different colors and stripes. And what's funny is when you get a motley one, as I mentioned, where the saddles on the back kind of melt together, they don't have belly checkers. And some motley extreme turn out to be striped. Actually, on my channel, I've got only a couple of videos on snakes, and you can see a whole bunch of different colors. And all of those ones came from the same parents, and the parents looked nothing like those babies.
So it's kind of like a gamble. You never really know what they're going to look like. Do you have a favorite snake morph? So the morph is the coloration or the color pattern, and it seems like when people breed snakes, they're trying to get certain morphs or certain color patterns, right?
Yeah.
So what's your favorite morph or color pattern that you've seen that we can probably look up?
It's tough. I really don't like, I shouldn't say don't like, but don't care as much for the amelanistic ones, the ones that are like oranges and reds, and some people love that.
Yeah.
And the red eyes. There's a type called a ghost corn. There's another type called pewter, Pewter, like the metal pewter, that are really pretty colored. And then there's lavenders are really nice, and hypo lavenders.
Ooh,
it's funny
these are like ghost
lavenders,
corn snakes. Hypo.
And there's a thing called a blood red, and hypo lavender. You know, they've got. It's really kind of interesting because a lot of times the main color on their body will be like the iris in their eye, like in our eyes. But then like the center will be this, on hypos will be this just deep ruby red. It's just gorgeous.
Ooh, hypo core snake eye. Let's look at that. Interesting. I like that. They look like worms because they're so pink. But man, I remember when I went to this conference, they had some that were like, I don't know, they called them like creamsicle ones that had like patches of orange on an otherwise pure white or something like that. And it's really wild, the stuff that they can create. Yeah. I feel like it's mostly, am I wrong in saying it's mostly ball pythons are the ones with the strange morphs?
No, you know what? Ball python morphs. I mean, when I got my ball python, I got her 20 years ago last Christmas. And
Jeez.
there weren't a whole lot of morphs then. I mean, recently I stumbled across some videos on YouTube and I was just blown away. I had no idea. You see those ones in that picture that have a lot of white? That's
Yes.
called piebald,
Piebald.
Piebald. And that was like a really cool thing to do. And um, you got amelanistic, the albino, what we call albino,
Uh-huh.
but all like a bunch of those ones in there and some of these other, I had never seen all these variations. They've really taken it to like a next level though these past like 10, 15 years that I really haven't been paying attention. Mine's just a standard kind of, looking ball python.
So this is what's hip in the ball python community is creating these new morphs.
Oh yeah, they're always trying to um, breeding in general, just trying to amelanistic corns are really, really popular. I shouldn't say popular, but they're really common.
Yeah.
That used to be like the height of breeding if you produced an amelanistic corn, an albino corn, and now they're just like so boring and because there's so many other cool pattern morphs, stripes, um, the different colors. You get these really cool colors called amber is another one that I really love.
Of corn snake or ball
Yeah,
python?
corn.
So I love this. We're learning the lingo. So amelanistic means that it has an inability. It produces less melanin, so its
Well, yeah,
color is like a little different.
when you put moral and amoral, meaning not the prefix there, but so amelanistic is without melanin,
Yeah.
so it won't produce the blacks and the brown colors scales. And yeah,
Okay. And the morphs are the different colorations.
yeah, and anerythristic is they don't have the reds and the oranges, and they
Anerythristic. How do you spell that? Sorry.
right there, oh, it just popped up right there for you when you first started.
Oh no. Okay.
There's
So
a Y
okay.
in there.
Oh, okay. So okay. This is great. So I love learning about science vocab. Sorry, this is my jam. Okay. So an amelanistic corn snake cannot produce the dark colors, so it'll probably be orangish and reddish, right?
Yeah.
And in an anerythristic
Anerythristic.
an anerythristic corn snake will not produce the warmer tones like the reds and oranges, so it'll be more darker, right?
Yeah, blacks and grays.
So the kind that you like the lavender ones, are those more anerythristic because they're not super orange and red?
I know they've got a hint of that in there. I mean,
True, like a touch. Yeah.
yeah, it's funny. And then there's another cool corn is one called a blizzard. And somebody once wrote that just like in a real blizzard, all you see is white. And they've got, sometimes you see a kind of a tiny fleck of yellow, like a single scale or
geez.
two.
This is scary. This is like a nightmare snake. I don't know why. Whoa.
I used to breed all those colors.
Okay, so as we end the end of this interview right here, Pete, any last thing that you want to talk about snakes, and any more questions that people have in the chat? Anne brought up an interesting thing, which I know, Pete, we've kind of talked about a bit too, is I think interestingly, like people are so the standard thing is to be scared of snakes, right? Like
Yeah.
I had a snake and I like snakes and I still had nightmares about snakes, which is really odd. But I have a friend, Jesse, who's like an outdoor nature guy, and when he sees a snake, he freaks out in the most absurd way that I've ever seen him act ever. So yeah, as a
I've got a big
backer of
12
snakes,
minutes.
what do you have to say about that? Yeah, what do you got to say about that?
On my channel, I got a couple of, like I said, a couple of the videos, and I tried to get people to understand. I don't know why they're so afraid of them. You don't need to be afraid of them. I grew up or I went to college in Central Illinois and rode my bike out in the cornfields. And it seemed like, there's got to be a law that farmers had to have a dog. It had to be big and it couldn't be tied down, and they would chase me. No snake is going to chase you.
True. Yeah.
If you stay a safe distance away, when they do a thing I call S-ing up, where they kind of coil and they lift their front of their body up, they're getting ready to strike. But their farthest reach is about 2/3 of their body length. You might come across a 6-foot snake, so that's 4 feet. You stay 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 feet away, you're safe. It's not going to chase you. My favorite thing to tell people is you never saw Godzilla running away from the little tiny villagers. Snakes their eyesight isn't too good, but they know enough that they can't eat you. You
Yeah.
know, they got a little brain half the size of a chicklet, or a little baby. It's like a tic tac brain. You know, they don't do a lot of thinking. They just want to be left alone and leave them alone. I was mountain biking one day, and I went flying off this berm, and I looked down and I saw a copperhead sitting in the middle of the trail. And
Whoa.
I thought, oh man, if some other bikers come along, they're probably going to take a stick and beat it to death. So I
That's
found a
true.
nice 4-foot stick and just gently urged him off and up underneath a rock. I'm like thinking, we're in your neighborhood, we're in your yard, but there are people who think only good snake is a dead snake. And you don't have to think that way. Whenever people tell me, oh, I saw a snake in my yard, I go, oh, that's good luck. And they're going, oh, what? I'm trying to get them to think positively about it. I've got a creek, I've got woods, I've got all this stuff that rodents love. So it's great to have snakes, out there.
Oh man, last thing before we go. Have you ever been to the Narcissus snake dens in Canada?
No,
Oh, do you know about that?
no.
Oh, okay. Well, the garter snake emergence. So all the garter snakes hibernate underground, and then they all emerge at the same time and start mating with each other in the spring. And it's like a foot deep of garter snakes just like writhing around over this
I think I've seen
huge area.
pictures.
Yeah, it's absolutely outrageous. But no, I agree with you. I mean, you leave snakes. If you leave snakes alone, they're not really going to bother you. And I mean, they're one of the most incredible animals too. If you can just kind of handle one, if you're ever at like, I don't know, a petting zoo or like one of those nature places that you were talking about, being able to handle a snake is so crazy because it's the weirdest feeling that you've ever felt before. It's a truly novel experience, feeling it writhe around in your hand and like wrap itself around your arm.
Well, I always called it a little
really
snake
strange.
massage, and now that's becoming popular, silly stuff like that. But I would bring the babies to school. I would bring, adults or sub-adults to school so the kids can handle them and not be so afraid and, to understand it a little bit more. My classes would watch snake eggs hatch. I even brought turtle eggs in and hatched them and got to see that. But it's a neat thing that, gosh, growing up, I never got to experience, snake eggs hatching and just trying to get people to not be afraid, leave them alone. They got a place here. There are venomous ones that are can be scary and can be dangerous, but
I think it's one of those things where if your fear is partially born out of the fact that you don't know a lot about them. And I feel like
breeds fear. I always tell people ignorance breeds fear. I used to skydive a lot, and I was totally afraid of the airplane up until a buddy of mine, one of the pilots, sat me down and explained to me all the forces we go through and everything. And I was never afraid again. It's just, I always tell people, ignorance breeds fear.
Yeah, the more you learn about it, the better you feel. All right, Pete, I think we're going to wrap it up there. I think we're going to now vote on what we want to put into the museum. But thank you so much for sending this package.
Hey, go to the channel, watch those snake videos.
Yes, Pete's got some snake videos. He also got some other videos on his channel. It's Pete R. It's a little tricky to find, so if you click on his name, it's better than searching it on YouTube. I feel like that's the best way to find it. But Pete, thanks so much for joining us.
Yeah, there are several Pete R's.
Yeah. All right, good luck. Have a great day.
You too.
We'll catch you another time, and we'll see you in the chat, all right?
Yeah, I'm on.
All right, see you, dude. Bye.
Bye.
All right, guys, that's Pete. How about that? I found that really interesting. Pete, thanks so much for joining us. Man, 300 snakes a year, hatching 1,500 snakes throughout his whole career. That was really interesting. I like talking to people like that who know a lot of information about very specific things. They're kind of fun to talk to. Okay, exactly. I'm not actually afraid of snakes. They're pretty cool. Oh, Kevin, that's great to see. Ann says, exactly. Ignorance breeds fear, and forewarned is forearmed. What? I don't get it, Ann. Please explain. Oh, Nada is here. What's up, Nada? Nada, we were just talking to Pete. He's one of our friends, and he just sent us a bunch of stuff. I'll show it to you guys right now. We're doing a bit of a snake stream. So let's go. All right. Nada's here. Nada, how are you doing? How are you feeling? How's everything going? We had an interview, so a bit of a slow day, but we're kind of cranking up. Most people who are bit by snakes, it is because the person is trying to kill them. Yes, or they're kind of like bothering the snakes. Or, I don't know, they might accidentally step on the snakes or something like that. But I feel like, I might be wrong about this, but I feel like a lot of snakes can't kill you, really, especially the ones around here. Leave them alone, and then they will leave you alone. True. We did an episode about poisonous and venomous snakes, or poisonous and venomous animals on Weird But True, and that was kind of the big takeaway right there. Okay. Okay, everybody, here's our haul. Here's our haul. Here's our haul from Pete. What a wonderful natural history mystery box right here. Okay. Now comes the vote, everybody. Now comes the vote. Listen. Okay. We have discussed the options. We have seen what has been provided to us. Now we must determine if you're still around. Now comes the time for the Super Secret Science Society Board of Trustees, which is everybody who's watching, to vote on what pieces will be inducted into the museum. First things first. Put up a poll. Poll's going up. Yes? No. First things first, everyone. First things first. Silk moth cocoon. Will the silk moth cocoon be inducted into our museum? Which is kind of also like a Hall of Fame. How many people we got here? Guys, we have 19 viewers, which means your vote has an incredible amount of power. Okay? Manya! Hey Manya, how you doing? What if it hatches? If it hatches, that'll be a great surprise. We'll have a giant silk moth on our hands. Okay. Has anyone voted? I don't think anybody's voted. Am I going crazy? Has anybody been able to vote yet? Oh no! We need some voters! Okay, we have 4 votes. 4 votes are in. 4 votes are in from yes. Yes. Okay. Guys. Oh. We have more votes coming in. The votes are coming in slowly. Votes are coming in slowly but surely. But I think that's it. I think 6 yes and 1 no. I think that means it's yes. Confirmed. It will remain on the table. Next one. Cicada. Cicada and shell. Yes? No. Create poll. Share. Copy. Yes, everybody. Game night is back this Friday, if you haven't heard. Game night is back this Friday, but it's kind of like a preseason game night because we're still figuring it out. It's gonna be a while to get back into it, and it's an hour earlier than normal, so it's gonna be at 5. Be at 5. Next one, results, cicada and shell. Will the cicada and shell be inducted into our museum? It's up to you. We should pin the cicada? I was thinking about that. I think that'd be kind of cool, Kelly. It might be a surprise when it hatches and not what you think. That's true. I think it'd be worthwhile to just keep on the shelf and just keep an eye on it. I wonder if it'll still hatch. I think Kelly isn't so sure about that, but we'll have to see. Yeah, game night is back, and game night is back. It's going to be an experimental game night this Friday, so we'll see how it goes. It's a little bit earlier, but it'll be fun. 2 votes. Oh, no. Okay, that's fine. Oh, 5 votes coming in for yes. This one's a little close, but we have some defectors. Some people want to, that's good. I feel like it's good to, be very critical when it comes to accepting things into our museum, because we don't have a ton of shelf space, so it's good. It won't be Kahoot. Brandon, it will not be Kahoot because I think we're just going to get hacked again, unfortunately. So I don't think it's going to be Kahoot, but that's why I think we're going to work really hard to try to still make it fun and engaging, like Kahoot. Okay, the answer is yes. Shelf space is limited, but the tribe has spoken. The Super Secret Science Society has spoken, and the cicada and shell are being added to the museum. Congratulations, cicada and shell. Next, we have the eggs. I feel like this should be a gimme, but we'll see just in case. Eggs. Yes? No. Snake eggs? Are you guys feeling snake eggs into the museum? Should devote a separate stream to the eye model? Yeah, you know, maybe we'll dissect a cow eye and build the eye model. Actually, that sounds like a pretty good stream. Yeah, I might get a cow eye, and then we could do a cow eye dissection and add it to, and then build the eye model on the same stream. I think that'd be pretty good. Will the snake eggs be added to our museum? Oh, piano. Piano is critical, man. Piano thinks the eggs will be a little bit hard to display. We're still waiting. Still waiting. Waiting for the votes to roll in. Do the snake egg feel flexible like a broken ping pong ball? They feel kind of... They're pretty stiff. They're pretty stiff, and I feel like it would crack if I crush it. But ping pong ball is a good way to describe the thickness, and for sure. So definitely ping pong ballish. A cow eye dissection is a great idea to go with the eye model. Yeah, you should put them in a jar. Yeah, that's actually a good way to do it. Okay. I think they are soft shelled, but I think these have dried out since they're a little bit old. That's my guess, Kevin. Okay. Guys. The eggs are also added to the museum. Next. I think we're gonna save this for a cow eye stream. So I think we're gonna do that. Snake skins. Now the snake skins. The final decision of the day. Snake skins. Yes. No. Create poll. Share. Copy. Paste. Paste. Girl Hall 3, what's up? How are you doing? Final one. Snake skins. Results. Kevin, it looks like you're gonna have or no, sorry, Pete. Pete, it looks like you're gonna have an entire shelf in our museum. Kermit the Frog, without a doubt. Piano. Favorite Sesame Street player, throw them in the chat after you vote. High humidity. I like that. I really like this block though. I think it's kind of nice. And I like that there's sphagnum moss in it too. It makes it look very natural. What's up, CJ? How you doing? It's the Pete R reptile shelf. Yes, we have the Pete R reptile wing of our museum now. Okay. All right, everyone. I think we've done it. Oh, we have a no vote. We have a defector. I bet that's piano. But I think we wrap up voting. I think that's it. Okay. Accomplishment songs. Everyone, we have voted. The board of the Super Secret Science Society has voted and determined that we have 4 different groups. 4 different groups to be added to our museum. I now announce the opening of the Pete R reptile wing. Even though some of these things are not from reptiles, but we might have to cue that up later. The Pete R Memorial Natural History Wing will include a silk moth cocoon, a handful of corn snake eggs, a variety of snake skins, and a cicada and its cicada shell, everyone. Pete Space R. Click him in the chat, check him out on YouTube. Congratulations, everybody. Thank you for this first official meeting of the board of the Super Secret Science Society. I appreciate you being here. Thank you. Your presence is always appreciated. All right, everybody, that's the end of the main stuff that we had for the stream today. Coming up, we have Friday is a game night stream. We're streaming at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. And then next week, I think I'm going to order an eyeball today. I think I'm going to order a cow eye, and we might have an eye dissection. We're going to see how that goes. Cow eye dissection potentially next week on Tuesday if everything goes right. And yeah, I have to kind of blitz in a bit because I have to go all the way to Indiana to get the vaccine. So, yes, thanks, Pete. Thanks for sending it over. You can soften a small batch of eggs and leave the big clutch to dry. True. You can soften them up. I wonder if you could soften them up and then poof them up to make them a little bit rounder. Yeah, that'd be interesting. Wait, we're in Indiana? Honestly, I'm going to Gary. You guys are way south, right? Am I right about that? Dose 1 or 2? This is dose. I'm getting the Moderna one today. I'm very excited about it. I think it's going to be great. And with the 10. And thank you so much. And I appreciate it. Yes, shout out Ann, shout out Drake. Thanks so much for the donos today. I really appreciate it, guys. Man. I went to Wakanda. Oh, man, I believe that, Kelly. I'm getting my first dose on Saturday. Has anyone gotten the vaccine totally? Ann, thank you so much. I hope you're doing well. Hour above Indianapolis? Okay, so you're an hour above Indianapolis. So, yeah, I think I'll be about 2 hours from you guys. Popping over to Gary. I got to be there by 1, so I got to bounce soonish. I'm fully vaccinated. Congratulations, Kelly. How do you feel? Do you feel like a superhero? Nada! Thank you, Nada! I had both of mine last month. Oh, nice, Stephanie. Did anyone get really sick from the second one or feel really bad from it? Because I heard that it hits people in different ways. Dorina, my Easter was great. I made a quiche. And I feel really good about it. It was a great quiche. Gary, yeah, that's what goes through my mind whenever I pass Gary, Indiana, Big Jim, singing that song. That's from, what's that from? Is that from Music Man? I think it's from Music Man. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. But no, my Easter was great. I had a nice Easter dinner with my family. We got a nice ham. We cooked up a nice little quiche. We had a couple different potato dishes that Curb put together. And it was nice. Guys, it's like 70 or 80 degrees here in Chicago, which is pretty outstanding. Usually it's wet and very cold, so I'm really enjoying it. Music Man? Oh, okay, thanks. Oh, Kelly got that Pfizer? Nice. And I had 0 reaction to the second one. Oh, that's terrific. And got the second one. Felt tired. Yeah. I think I'll probably feel a little bit tired. My joints might ache a little, but I'll feel pretty good. My entire arm hurt for the first shot for about 2 days. Whoa, my second shot didn't hurt at all. Perfectly fine. No symptoms whatsoever. Good. That's actually, wait, Stephanie, that's totally backwards. Usually people have the opposite. The first one's fine and the second's the one that hurts. Oh no. Oh, Annalise, hey, have a great trip. How come you're going to Texas? I hope you have a great trip and it's super fun. But yeah, we'll let you know how it goes. I'll probably get a man flu after either and whine and complain a lot. Yeah, Big Jim, I'll probably do the same. All right, guys, thanks so much for joining us for this pretty chill snake stream. Thanks for Pete for joining us as well. Next week, I think we're going to do the eye dissection if my eye can come in on time. I'll order it later today. And yeah, 5 p.m. We're experimenting with some game night stuff. So it's going to be pretty chill. Get a pizza and hop on, come say hi, and help us figure it out. Because we're going to figure it out to make sure it's fun again with no hackers, I think. So it's going to be a good time. But yeah, thanks so much for joining us. We'll catch you next week. Appreciate you guys being here. And thanks for spending your time with me. I really appreciate it. You can spend your time doing a lot of stuff. And I'm really grateful that you spend it with me. Because I like spending time with you. So with that being said, I'm going to switch it over to our goodbye song. I hope everyone has a great time. Let's see. Where's our goodbye song? Here it is. Okay. Here's our goodbye song. All right. I'll start the next package. All right, Pete. We'll be ready for it. All right, guys. Thanks so much for being here. I hope you have a great Tuesday, and I'll see you next week, okay? Actually, I'll see you Friday. All right. I'll see you Friday. Have a good time till then, okay? See you guys. Bye. See you, Kelly. See you, Piano. See you, Stephanie. See you, Drake. See you, Big Jim. Jim, what is that song? What is that song? See you, Ari. See you, Kelly. See you, Ann. Thanks for stopping by, Ann. Thanks, Pete. See you, Dorina. See you, everyone. See you, Brandon. Thanks for stopping by, my man. right, everyone. Have a great week. I'll talk to you guys soon, okay? Blue's Clues. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm bummed I missed that. Bye, Nada. All right, see you, Annalise. See you, Mama Opal. Have a great time in Texas, okay? Look forward to hearing about it. All right. We'll see you guys later. Ta-ta!